Well, you've probably noticed that this July's been, well, a bit disappointing for us weather-wise, hasn't it? The first couple of weeks of the month, we've already seen more rainfall than we'd normally see. And across Scotland, we've had 60% more rainfall in the whole of the month of July than we'd normally expect. So it has been particularly wet here. And actually, these kind of grey, cloudy skies, the wet weather conditions we've been seeing, has a link to the extreme heat in Europe. Let me explain. It's all down to the jet stream. And to the west of the UK, we've got this trough pattern. What that does is it throws areas of low pressure our way. That's why it's been raining so much. But for Europe, we're underneath this ridge of high pressure in the jet stream. What that does, it pushes air downwards through the atmosphere, and that can trap heat near the Earth's surface. Now, one thing to notice with these extreme temperatures, 46 degrees possible for southern Sardinia, similar temperatures in Sicily. The highest temperatures are actually quite localised and often they're near the mountains. It's a sign of this descending and drying air through the atmosphere, whereas around the coastline, temperatures aren't quite so fierce, but it is a lot more humid.
Hello there, good afternoon. Well, following yesterday's heavy showers, then today's looking a lot drier, and for many of us it will be completely dry across the capital. We've already seen some areas of cloud around and some sunny spells, as illustrated by our weather watcher photos here from across the capital.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. I hope you're keeping well. I haven't seen one of these birds before. I think it is a white sparrow apparently, and it is beautiful, isn't it? And a very good spot, Sarah. So sunny spells and showers on the cards for the next couple of days. Our temperatures are pretty mild, quite nice in the sunshine, a little cooler out of it, certainly not hot like it is in Europe. And just a heads up that we've got a bit of an unsettled weekend to come. Now, if you're wondering what's going on with our temperatures, Europe versus the UK, well, whilst they tap into this hot air from the south, we've got the jet stream across us, and that is preventing that hot and humid air from coming up. Meanwhile, we're tapping into that cooler air from the north via this low pressure system. And today that has brought rain to some parts of the UK.
Thank you very much, Sophie. I've not got anything quite as dramatic as that. In fact, something very different from one of our weather watchers in Lancashire today. Cloudy skies, a lot of rain. It has felt really cool where you've been stuck with that cloud and rain. Just 14 degrees in places today. It feels a world away from the heat that has once again gripped southern Europe. And the reason for the difference, well, it's the position of the jet stream. The wind's high in the atmosphere, dividing us from that heat and bringing us areas of low pressure.
We just had two fantastic weeks at Wimbledon. It was a great tournament there this year. Back in the studio. Good to see you.
Well, it's nice to be. I would say it's nice to be back. It's always lovely
but that would
to be
lying.
here with you. But it was fantastic at Wimbledon. I'm a very lucky girl.
Oh, yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to start off tonight by just reminding you that it's the 1-year anniversary of that alarming record-breaking heat actually this time last year. As you remember, 18th of July, we saw 36, 37 degrees. And then on the 19th, record-breaking, we went over 40 degrees Celsius. Of course, nothing like that today. We are certainly on the cooler side of the jet stream at the moment. All of the heat across Europe at the moment and across the US too. But some sunny spells today. It was pleasant in the best of the sunshine, wasn't it? So we saw temperatures peak at well, in the low 20s actually for most of us. Some areas of cloud around at times, it's true, and it's the same sort of thing again tomorrow, but there could be a few more showers in the mix. So some showers, but also some spells of sunshine too.
Alex, we've seen loads of stats about the heat elsewhere.
Yeah.
But you've been looking at the weather for the next month. What are we looking at?
Well, the bigger picture for the next, say, 4 weeks or so is actually fairly mediocre conditions. It doesn't look like we're going to be tapping into that heat wave which is across the Mediterranean at the moment, and as we know, it is expected to actually intensify as we head through the next couple of days. For us though, we're still on the cooler side of the jet stream, so conditions are going to be staying very changeable, and that's why so far in July it has been fairly disappointing. In fact, let's just take a quick look at what we've had for the first couple of weeks. So July so far, as you may imagine, temperatures are actually slightly below average for the time of year. Sunshine also below average. Rainfall, surprisingly, above average. In fact, let's just break it down into the UK and our nations. And as you can see, we've seen 90% of the average monthly rainfall already in the UK, for the UK as a whole. But when we break it down, you can actually see that Northern Ireland has already seen more than a month's worth of rainfall. And I suspect there is more to come. Let's take a look at what we've been having through the month of July. And you remember these scenes in Norwich. Yes, heavy rainfall here, and also the winds have been particularly strong throughout the course of this month so far. take a look at these scenes from Devon a few days ago. The waves crashing onto the railway line there. Yeah, so heads up, if you've got outdoor plans this weekend, Saturday in particular is looking quite wet at the moment.
Okay, so